What's up, my stars? I hope y'all are shining bright today, because that's what we do. But I am just gonna say, if y'all do hear me sniffle in the video, it is because I am sick. I know. I might be dying. I don't give a fuck though. Anyway, so today's video, I am gonna be talking about this Gen X storyteller or whatever the fuck, because she talks about, Gen X. And as you can see, I have somewhat of a history about making videos about it. But honestly, I like her content. It's a little bit entertaining to watch. Do I find it stupid? Yeah, but I don't really care. I mean, I find a lot of stuff stupid. That's just how I am. But I do want to say, if y'all do enjoy the content, please like and subscribe. I'm going to try to make this interesting, in the first little bit, because I know a lot of people have short attention spans. So here, once and again, I might add an explosion just to make sure you're still watching, But other than that, I'm going to try to keep the editing pretty good so y'all can be entertained. I'm gonna go ahead, start the first clip, so I won't be yapping as much, so, let's go ahead and start it.
Hi, I'm Kelly Mano, and I'm here today to talk about why Gen X is absolutely the most traumatized generation of all time. Some of this shit we had to do was not normal, and it's time to talk about it. Number one, with a bullet, I still have trauma from the word scoliosis, and I've never had scoliosis. They made us all strip down to our bra and underwear, stand in a big ass line, half naked. At the end of the line was a total stranger you had to go bend over in front of.
I'm not gonna lie, I'll probably be traumatized from that shit too. Shit, it sounds like you got fucking groomed. What the fuck? Was the cops just not around? Like, what the fuck was going on to where that shit was happening? I wouldn't even do that. You can check for scoliosis by just looking at their fucking back. And the way that she's laughing about it, oh my god, these niggas are fucking weird. I don't even know what to say. These niggas are just weird. Her laugh also sounds like, me trying to get some tea ready or a car brake squeaking. That shit was funny as fuck.
Do this, and you would do this, and then you would bend over, and then they would tell you if you had scoliosis or not. Number two, swats. Our teachers could hit us with wooden paddles. Our parents did not care. Each teacher had their own paddle, and they would display them in their classroom. Some teachers would paint them or name them. A lot of teachers would drill holes in them to make the paddle more aerodynamic when they hit you. Assistant principal at my school, she would kick her shoes off before she gave you a swat so that she could get a running start.
I'm not gonna say all schools are like this, but how my high school was, like, you were able to get paddling instead of getting, like, suspended. So I understand, like, the paddlings, because at my school, it was happening. I actually had a friend that got paddled. I never did. I wasn't a bad kid. I was really a goody two-shoes. Actually, I'm lying. I was a nuisance. I used to make so many jokes. A lot of terrorist jokes, but we ain't gonna speak on that. FBI, open up! But, like, yeah. Like, one of my friends that got a paddling, and that started the wave of paddling getting into the school. I don't know if they're still doing it, because knowing they got a new principal, so,
Number three, I'm going to go with pinch an inch. They had this device. It was like a fat clamper, okay? Clamp it on your belly. And if this little tool could pinch more than an inch, then you were told you were fat and you had to lose weight. Number four.
So that was actually the end of that video, because I'm not about to go find the actual video, because I don't know her name or her TikTok. But that's kind of really, like, I'm glad the time that we live in now, we don't have to go through that more like public shaming, because, like, it doesn't make you tough, it doesn't make you hard, it doesn't make you any of that. A lot of the times it just makes you, like, super insecure and makes you feel really terrible in your own body. I'm more about body positivity. I don't care how you look, I don't care what your body type is, as long as you're happy. Who cares what anybody else thinks? Fuck what they say.
CBS did a story on all of the generations, and they put up a graphic and completely forgot Gen X. This happened a couple years ago. You didn't hear anything about it, because it's honestly our goal to be forgotten about and just fly under the radar. This graphic made me think about the way that the years are structured. According to everything online, Gen X ends at 1980. We all know that that's bullshit. If you're born between 1981 and 1984, You're Gen X. You're not a Zennial. You're not an older millennial. You don't have to make up a new word for yourself. You're not that fucking special. You're Gen X trash like the rest of us. For those of you born in 1985 to 1988,
I'm gonna cut that video a little bit short because she wasn't really talking about anything but the year and what basically you would be if like you were a millennial or a Gen X. I really don't give a fuck. But what I do want to say, they're not. The only thing I wanted to talk about was the first part. They're not a forgotten generation. They are just one people know and just don't give a fuck. Gen X did not have a name until like I don't know. Well, they wasn't being labeled until a few years ago. We already had boomers, Gen Z, because that's what we started with. Nobody knew what to call the older people, like the like old heads. So they just started with Gen X. There were no Gen X before there was a label created. So they didn't go under the radar. Just nobody really wanted to take the time to do something for a label that was just damn near created.
if you grew up in Gen X, you had your parents who told you every single day that you were like 1 second away from being murdered or kidnapped. Every single day. We had to get our fingerprints and our photos taken every school year in case we got kidnapped. And if that wasn't traumatizing enough, they put all the missing kids on the side of our milk cart that we drank at lunch. We had to practice what we would do if we caught on fire because they made it seem like we were going to catch on fire all the time. Every time you got on the escalator with your mom, you were doing something wrong. You were too close to this, your shoe was too untied, don't go into this. They insisted that if we made one wrong move on that escalator, we were going to get sucked down into those metal teeth and like put it like ground beef.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna give Gen X credit for that because they were a generation where a lot of kidnappings were happening, and so I wouldn't doubt they were having protocols just in case they also went missing. So I give them that. But this thing I'm about to talk about was mainly pertaining to me. I remember as a kid, I watched a movie. I don't know if it was Final Destination or whatever, but it was a movie that had an escalator, and in the movie, the dude got sucked into that escalator. Ever since then, for like I was 8 at the time when I watched it. For like 5 years, I could not go on the escalator without thinking I was gonna end up like dying from an escalator. I ain't gonna lie, that shit had me scared. But I was traumatized too, but mainly from a movie.
Have anxiety about escalators. Like that first step, I'm like, all right, don't fuck this up. You're gonna be ground beef. Our parents left us alone all the time, but they didn't want other people to know that they left us alone all the time. So if somebody called the home phone and you were home by yourself, you had to lie and tell them that your mom was in the shower. Because if you didn't and you told
I mean, Gen X wasn't the only one that did that. Because my mom taught me, hey, if I'm not here and somebody calls, say that I'm here. Because if, like, they don't want, it's not that they don't want people to know that we're home alone. They just don't want people to try to do anything. Or if it's somebody weird, they don't want them to try to come over and do something weird. You know what I mean? So I say the best one for last. Because I feel like I'm going to have the most to say about this one because it was pretty funny when I heard it. So let me just put it on.
if you grew up in Generation X, you have no recollection of drinking water. You could not go to the store in the 70s or 80s and buy a bottle of water. No, nobody would pay for water. Our parents giving us water, not a thing at all.
I'm going to say it like this to try not to trigger Gen X again because, you know, on my last video I had like 100 hate comments. So let me just say this. I feel like most of Gen X parents were just alcoholics. So, you know, water wasn't really a thing. Cause all they had was beer, alcohol, and nothing that, you know, would actually quench your thirst. Now, hey, prove me wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm pretty right.
Simply, we were some of the most dehydrated motherfuckers on the planet. Our classrooms were not air conditioned. It would be hot as balls. There were so many teachers that would just bring a fan and it would just point at them. They were like, fuck them kids. Trying not to die of heat stroke because there's no air conditioning in these big brick buildings. You go down to lunch and they give.
Okay, when I said I liked her videos, I ain't mean that much. I'm not about to sit down and listen to her yap about her old school. Sorry about the hiccups. But other than that, you know, I actually feel not sorry for the last video I made about Gen X. So if y'all do like this video, please hit that like and subscribe button, you know. Please hit that like and subscribe button and get rid of my hiccups for me. But, you know, I actually hope y'all do watch the whole video because, you know, it would be greatly appreciated that y'all get to see, you know, the real me and get the vibe with me, you know, while making my videos. But anyway, I hope y'all all have a great and wonderful day. This is actually one of my longest videos, so I hope it does a little bit well. Anyway, love all y'all. Have a great day. Be blessed and stay shining because we're all stars.